Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, small changes to the build I uploaded yesterday. So featuring the new Odion cards from Maze of the Masters, I think the name is. Should be, if not mistaken. Yups, Maze of the Master. Featuring Ra. Yesterday I wasn't running Ra simply because I was thinking, you know, it's a brick in the main deck. But you're not running a small portion of the new support. At least I was not running a small portion of the new support. But it does have some beneficial effects, as in they have a quick play spell. It lets you dodge stuff like Failure and Imperm on basically any monster on field, plus at the same time it gets Ra on field. Restriction though is that you need to have Ra either in your hand or banished. But as you know, like your main deck engine has multiple cards that leads to the new Mystical Beast, you know, Mythical Beast, the new Circuit one. And, you know, Circuit, etc. banishes the level 10 or higher from your deck, so that immediately banishes Ra, setting it up for your quick play spell to get it on field. And you're also playing, I guess, one of the fusion spells, you know, that one searches to do quick play spell. Plus the fusion kinda is a super poly but weaker. But the only biggest downside I have with that super poly card from Odion is that it only works for your opponent's monsters. First of all, if you have Temple of the Kings face up, that counts for the new field spell, and your opponent needs to have a weak attack monster. What is it, 2500 attack or lower? And in most situations, their big boss monsters are just higher than that. Anyway, so Rydal Fiendsmith. We started off really well. A couple of negations, I guess, eventually leading to Little Knight getting, at least trying to force out Lacrima, basically. But again, I guess there is some potential with this deck, because basically every card searches each other. They are not once per turn. Well, once per copy that is, but you know, like for the new field spell, just activate another copy. And the field spell has two very solid effects, search effects. The Anubis in the graveyard, you know, the level 10 one is not once per turn to summon itself. They have a Straddle, so the trap surges themselves. They have a fantastic fusion monster, so there is definitely potential with this deck. So Man with the Mark basically gets another search, and oh yeah, this is something that I wasn't running yesterday, is more capitalizing on Temple of the King's other effect, as in to cheat out a monster from either your deck or extra deck. What is it? By sending the OG Mystical Beast, right? Circuit from your field to the graveyard. So that's the catch. You need to main deck that one brick, the Circuit, which is searchable, but you need to get it on the field. Sure, it needs one tribute, but it's sometimes awkward because you need your normal summon for Man with the Mark. But imagine this deck getting more support, as in a card that lets you, at least that potentially gives you an extra normal summon, or let's say lets you reborn something from the graveyard for free. I could see that working out, definitely, because again, you can cheat out Naturia. You know, Naturia Exterior, for example, or even Lost Warrior from another planet, right? So this setup is pretty disgusting. No spells and traps. What is it? When your opponent activates a spell or trap, send the top card from your deck to the graveyard and then banish a card. And it's not once per turn, right? Plus you have the fusion, the Odion fusion. Whenever a continuous trap is activated, you can pop one card. It's once per turn. Yeah, this is a new one. I dropped it down to 1, simply because it's searchable. As you saw, like, the ratios are a bit different compared to yesterday. It's a bit cleaner, I think. I don't think you're forced to main deck that many continuous traps, because again, they're all searchable and recyclable. Recyclable, right? This is the OG Apophis. Basically, special summons again. Itself is a normal monster, basically. But, you know, it triggers a fusion to pop a card. It could turn itself into Link Spider. Link Spider is an effect monster that could be useful. This is the Super Poly. This gets out the other weaker fusion, I guess, the less good fusion, but it has its uses. It's a DD Crow, or banishes a card either on field or grave, and that's kind of cool. And what does it, gains attack, etc. So I guess it's fine, but again, as I mentioned before, it needs what is it, a monster with 2500 or less. So basically a weaker monster from your opponent. So going second against Rydal deck, against Detonator. Detonator is this deck's, how do you say it in English, like, super weakness. Yeah, I mean, for the most obvious reasons. The thing is that because you're running that quick play spell, you know, the one that dodges failure, etc., it only becomes useful if you have Ra banished and if you have Temple of the Kings face up. But as you know, if they have Detonator, you cannot activate, you know, Temple of the Kings or the field spell because they will just pop it. So Detonator is a huge, huge deal for this deck. So Typhon is there because of this. I mean, Typhon, and then, you know, your traps, weaker traps, your engine, your slower engine definitely helps out. It prevents your opponent's boss monsters from triggering. And again, now Typhon is live. We do have the Dominus Purge, prevent the search, and now we can... This is one of the cards I wasn't running yesterday. It's definitely solid as a one-off. Basically, this trap, what is it? Anguish? The far left, whenever it's face about the field as a monster, every time you activate the continuous trap as a monster, right, for example, you can destroy, what is it, a card on field or a monster on field. And that's not once per turn. That's kind of sick. And it's searchable, right, off of your Link 2. So real nice. Really, really, really nice. So go for the fusion, which quite conveniently works under Typhon. Very nice. Another example going first. So let's see, we banish Ra. I guess this could be a tell, very similar to Fire King with Kirin, that, you know, if your opponent has banished Ra, watch out, they could have the quick play spell to dodge Imperm or Failure. And I guess this is fine. Sure, the Ra will get bounced back to your hand during the next end phase, but it's just probably going to be Link Father, right? Most situations. So go for the fusion, get back 2 cards, so busted. For free, basically 2 extra negations, because again, you can use the new trap, search another Swamp Deity, I guess, and it's not once per turn, so double negation. We're ashing that. This is fine. What is Skyburn? We're negating Skyburn, I think. Use our special summon Serpent, so I have at least 1 continuous trap. So we indeed are able to negate Skyburn. Ra is getting bounced back. That's fine. I mean, the position of Ra needs to be either in hand or banished, you know, for the new quick play spell. So go for Apophis, basically get myself another monster on field, to go for the Silhouette Rabbit, search something, trigger Swamp Deity. Basically, negating, preventing the search, I guess, or pop, or negation. And this is so cool, right? Like, the fact that these field spells are not once per turn, that's kind of sick. Set a continuous trap from the archetype, and the search for the archetype, that's very solid. Very, very solid. One of the better field spells. So Exterior again, basically win more in this situation. So that's the deal. Like, is it really worth it? Main decking the OG circuit? Probably for now, I don't think so. Because the format is just far too fast. You need hand traps. And I'm currently running the, what is it? One of the new Dominus card. It's not called Dominus, but you know which one I mean. It searches one of the other Dominus cards. And I think it's fine, but I don't think it's needed. Because again, if you want to play it in the TCG, you obviously can't run the new Dominus card. What is it? Psalm of the Kings. You can definitely, you know, go for other hand traps. If you have Melcharmy, go for it. But you know what I mean. It's not mandatory. So we imperm, what is it? Volcanics. Yeah, and this is fine-ish, right? So Fusion Summon, this is so cool. Fusion Summon, get rid of one, get rid of the Garronics from Graveyard, and now we are fairly safe to attack over Volcanics and go for a game. So, I mean, it has its uses. That's nice. I think this is the last one. So we Ash Extravagance. So, I mean, same for this deck. Like, you know, Dinkabui played this particular deck, right? Fire King with Extravagance. And Extravagance, you know, made the deck much better because of those draw too. And for this deck, for the Odion deck, I could see myself main decking Extravagance as well. But, you know, with that Ra Sphere, or at least the fusion package, might be a bit iffy, right? Sacrificing some extra deck cards at random. So let's see. So we use the field spell, set something. Go for Serpent. Mandate the Mark. Yeah, search Temple of the Kings. And that's the thing, right? I already used about normal summon, so we cannot get out circuit. The OG want to potentially go for Exterio, but it's basically, you know, establishing your board. The Impulse tells us that, you know, that they are blocked from Nibiru or Ghost Ogre, no lights, so that's fine. We can play into a Nib. if there would have been a nip. Like, imagine, you know, no impulse. They could probably go for nip first and keep impulse. That probably would have been a better play, right? Or am I missing something? No. You could, right? Yeah, you can. But I'm not so sure if it really mattered. Again, like this deck is so resilient. The fact that you can recycle your cards. They are not once per turn. The Anubis in the graveyard is not once per turn. Recycling all traps. That's kind of disgusting. Kieran pops, I think, the field spell. And this is also another use of Ra. And I think one of the reasons why it might be main deckable. Like the quick play spell, sacrifice a monster, special summon Ra, and because this quick play spell now is sent from your field to the graveyard, it will send all other monsters, send, not destroy, send all other monsters on the field to the graveyard, bar Ra. So it's basically a dark hole, but you know, instead of destroying it sends. That's fairly disgusting, that's pretty solid, really nice. But you know, small downside, as you saw, like battling it out against an established board, getting out, you know, like a field spell, you're committing, you have to commit, getting a banished Ra, that's not that easy, right? So it's not that easy to use the quick play spell. But anyway, this is the current build, like in a few moments, but I like it. And again, for the TCG, you're not forced to run Psalm of the Kings. You can definitely make other hand traps or other stuff. More traps or hand traps, basically. So, yeah, suggestions are definitely welcome, but I mean, it's a nifty route. I like it, fusion route. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Peace.